Hi, thank you for coming to my presentation. This shows a series of exit ticket data taken in an inclusion classroom. This is a reading classroom that combines 4th and 5th grade students. And this exit ticket data reflects the comprehension skill of being able to identify facts and being able to identify opinions when reading a text independently at one's level. So as you can see, there are two distinct groups of students. 1 through 8 is a group of students I'll call the purple group, and they are able to read text independently at a higher Lexile level than this group of students on the bottom, students 9 through 15 that I'll call the green group. Also, for the green group, unfortunately, there was a fire drill on the 27th, so I was unable to collect a second day's worth of data for them. And then, of course, the next week, I'm kind of mandated to go on to a different comprehension skill, unfortunately. So I was not able to collect data on this particular comprehension skill. One thing that you'll see is that here in the purple group, there were no students who completed the assessment and weren't able to identify a fact or an opinion. So what they had to do is on a note card, they had to write an example of a fact, an example of an opinion from a text that we were reading. And the opinion could either be the author's opinion or an opinion of a character discussed in the text. So you'll see that typically students who were able to complete this assessment did well. So that's what the 1 and the green shows. The 1 and a green box shows they got it. They were able to do it. I completely stole this from the student who did this in one of El Cordy's previous classes and that example that we saw. So the teal means that the student couldn't finish, either they ran out of time or they were off task. And I think that you'll see from the 25th to the 27th, there is an evolution in which many more students within the same amount of time were able to complete the assessment. And I think this was the first time on the 25th that I had ever given this form of assessment where students had to write on a note card. So I also am curious as to whether this assessment data is a reflection of how accustomed students were to writing as a part of their guided reading small group. A number of students were very caught off guard and said, "Oh, I shouldn't have to write. This is, my reading time." So I wonder how much this is a reflection of the format of the assessment and not so much an evolution in terms of students mastering the comprehension skill. So, in my ideal world, I would like to collect more data specifically related to this comprehension skill to see if, and also with the green group, that bottom group as well, to see if there's an evolution in terms of mastery of this skill. I would also predict that in the future, if I were to do this form of assessment for another type of comprehension skill, that the data will more accurately reflect students' response to the comprehension skill and not so much reflect their aversion to this form of assessment as they become more used to it. That is my prediction. But anyway, I am pretty pleased with how this top group did on the second day. There is that student number 2 student number 2 is on the spectrum, and I think that on the and he's very strong in reading. I think on the 25th, he did a really nice job and was focused, and on the 27th, there were some changes in the schedule, and he was off. So I would say, other than that, I'm really excited and pleased with how that top group did. Thank you very much for viewing my presentation. Bye-bye.